Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. The next Kavi. This word Kavi, nowadays we understand what Kavi. A poet. कवि मीन्स जो कविता लिखता है. और आजकल की कविता कैसी होती है? मैं तो गया बाजार में लेने को कुछ सब्जी, सब्जी मंडी में देखा बहुत बहुत सी थी सब्जी. सोचा कौन सी सब्जी लूं, आलू लूं या बैंगन. बैंगन मुझे बहुत भाया, बैंगन मुझे बहुत भाया. सोचा इसको आलू के साथ मिलाकर बैंगन आलू बनाऊं या कूट के इसके बनाऊं भरता. अरे हे करता, क्या बनाया तूने बैंगन का भरता. वाह वाह तो बोलो, मैं अभी बनाया. ऐसे कपियों को कवि कहते हैं आजकल. Kavi means Krantadarshi. Those who are all knowing, know the past, present, future. And these are, of course, also attributes given to Ishwara. But Kavi means the seer, again meaning consciousness, who sees all, including the past, present, and future. Manishi. Manishi has got couple of meanings. One who is the seer of the mind, and the other means one who has mastery over the mind. Now, Kavi and Manishi appear to be similar, but there also distinction is there. One is the general knower, other is the knower of everything. So on realization, when you say knowing which everything is known, it's like a person who has known gold has known the essence of all jewelries. Has known the essence of all jewelry. Then there's a person who knows all the jewelry, like the jeweler. So don't think at realization you know everything. You are that consciousness who knows everything. Paribhu Swayambhu, which I have already explained, transcendental and self-existing, self-born. And still everybody says, what is the evidence that there is a greater, more powerful reality or Ishwara or God? As we said in the beginning, this whole world is an evidence. First of all, without a cause, there can be no effect. And how powerful that cause is, just look at the cosmic forces. Just look at the cosmic forces in this world. The mighty power of the sun, whose each inch is a nuclear explosion. The power of the wind. Those of you came 2 days before, you saw. Day for yesterday morning also, you saw a little bit. Your window started banging, dum, dum, dum. But far more powerful was the wind here till Gurudev. I remember he was standing there, I was standing with him, and some of us were standing with him. And this place, Siddhabadi, was considered to be, they used to call it Khandarghati. No tree grew on this hillock where our ashram stands. And Gurudev, when he was passing from there, from Yol, and spotted this land which was available, he chose this particular land. People will ask also, why did Swamiji choose this? Because there were no trees, so that for buildings you don't have to cut down trees. But having come here, nothing could grow. Even this whole valley, nothing could grow because it was a funnel for the wind to come in. And as I said, I was there for that camp. I remember when at night what you saw as wind is very gentle. The way the wind used to flow, everything would be banging, everything. I remember one early morning, I looked out of the window. It was like when we studied the north wind and there was a picture of all the dust, almost making a gigantic face like the mummy. Not your mummy, huh? Some will understand what I mean. So, of the sand. And Gurudev was standing there. And you sing, Pavan Devta is really wild here. What if I bring his son? And he would conceive immediately a huge statue of Hanumanji, 32 feet high, in Veerasan, Pavanasutta, Veerasan, facing the country, ever ready to protect its Sanatan Dharma, and Sita represents that Samskriti, Adhyatmic Samskriti. Then Pavan Devta will have to, his son is there, no? So Pavan Devta will have to come very gently. And that's how Hanumanji came. And when Hanumanji's Mastabhishek was done, he said, now that he has come, he's going to bring his entire parivar. He's going to bring his master. And I don't know if you all would have observed, now these buildings are in between, but from Hanumanji's eyes, and that's why the windows are there in the temple, you can see Ramchandraji's feet. Yeah. And if you see, the deities are not facing straight, slightly tilted. Ramchandraji is looking at Hanumanji and Sitaji is Prakriti, blessing the environment. That is the conception of the Rishi. And as I go to explain how this verse is realized, Master, you're getting the hint also, Kavi Manishi. Yeah? Who can conceive of the future and manifest the future. Yeah? Who's the knower of the past, present and the future. So Kavi, Manishi, Paribhu, Swayambhu. Transcendental, self-existing, and as we said, how do we recognize the source, that Isha? Because all these mighty creators or mighty powers of the universe, Sun as the creator of this world, or the various Prajapati, having appointed their specific duties, having prescribed the specific dharma of this world, allotted the various duties to these mighty relative creators or governors. So how do you know that God is still alive? God made the law. But how do you prove that God is still alive? The law is being practiced. Because nobody is watching, no? When you slip out. And nobody is watching. But if somebody is watching, no, I just came to drink water here. So therefore, the various eternal creator, their respective functions, and therefore Guru Nanak Sahib says very beautifully, Hukme andar sabko, bahar hukam na koi. Upanishad says, Bhishasmat vata pavate, Bhisho deti suryaha. Even these mighty forces remain in his hukum, remain in his command. And all the laws of nature by which these creators create, all these laws of nature has been very well allotted to everyone. So it seems speaking about Ishwara, but again saying Ishwara as Paribhu, Swayambhu, Kavihi, Manishi, of the nature of Sat, Chit, and therefore also Tattvamasi is revealed. Okay? So it is from this Atma only, as Ishwara, all these functions. Now even if you see, your creators are what? Your organs of actions and your organs of perception, with which you create. But thank God your eyes only see and don't eat. And they remain in that law. Can you imagine if one day you think by eating by your eyes that you can eat by your eyes, and if you happen to go to Andhra Pradesh, continuous conjunctivitis. You eat chili with your eyes, can you imagine? So, how each of our sense organs, the devatas, how each of your creative power, your mind and intellect, governed by his law, do their various functions, and therefore also Dharma has been given by Ishwara. So as I said, if you just take the Vachyartha, then Atma and Ishwara. But both are one and the same, Saha. That which is Atma, the self, as we think in this body, is the very self of Ishwara. That way also we have understood, then the infinitude of the Atma is recognized. And not even distinction of Jiva and Ishvara, or Atma and Paramatma. Two words are used, but Atma is Paramatma. That is what is to be reflected, contemplated and discovered. And therefore, Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Naham. Why? Because Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am conscious of all of them. They are seen, I am the seer. Keep turning your attention towards the Atma, which is consciousness, which is the seer, which is unchanging in spite of all our experiences changing, our body, mind and intellect changing, and therefore recognizing that I am the changeless and all this change that is seen is not me, including my body, mind, intellect and even my causal body. I am not this. Now, Saparyagat. And why do we go far to understand who that person who knows the truth is? Yeah? As far as Gurudev is concerned, where did he not go? Yeah? All pervading, really speaking, whose glory also is all pervading. No? Saparyagat. Shukram, ever bright, full of knowledge. I'm telling you, not a moment of dullness. Tomorrow you'll get a chance to listen to those who have met him. You've been hearing me also, but those who have met him. However, his body may be sick, as I told you, even in London, America, when he was there the last month. I remember I used to take him from the lift. You'd get up from the wheelchair, go and sit on the platform, and once he was on the platform, he was a roaring lion like he was in his 30s. Yeah? Not a moment of dullness. Ask any question, and without a pause, fatak as you would say, the answer would be there. So clearly, so distinctly, whether it was a child asking a question or a youth asking a question or an adult asking a question or a scholar asking a question. Accordingly, he would be able to say it. And ever laughing. I mean, if you saw if Gurudev was sometimes sad or stressed, even with his anger, he would make you laugh only. Yeah. And after his anger, suppose somebody indisciplined or walked in the class late or kept coming in front of him all the time, or sang to show off, he would just give one look and next moment would be laughing away. So if you got really angry, you can't laugh at the next moment. Be laughing away, ever bright. Akayam avranam. Yeah. Asnaviram. All these properties of the body. Now Australians are feeling a bit neglected, even though I've come from Australia all the way, years straight. Yeah. But I'll tell you an Australian story. In 1993, I had chance of being with Gurudev in Hong Kong, Indonesia, Sydney, and then in London. From Hong Kong, he was flying to Sydney, and the lady who had come from America, and people had volunteered to travel with Gurudev. He went alone. Paryagat. So they had volunteered to travel with him, to give him medicine, and she thought she didn't require, a visa in Australia. Australians don't require visa in America, but I don't know why Americans require us till today. Visa. So at the airport, she found out that she cannot. I was also traveling on the same flight. So immediately I was made to sit beside Gurudev so that anything he requires or medication. So I was traveling beside him. In Hong Kong, when I was there, one before noon, I saw Gurudev, kind of pressing his feet. Years of diabetes, and so, how does a Mahatma have so many this thing and all that? If you saw how he took his body to what end, that even he was alive for so many years, serving people, And if people asked him, Swamiji, no, please don't, strain yourself. We want you to live long and to look after your body. He said, I do look after my body. But if my body is not available for the service of the people, then what use is his body? Let it die. I'm not going to keep it. And I remember when I came here when he was ill before his 75th, birthday, how he was telling me, and from Gurudev, I'm waiting to get out from here. It was not because he was fed up here, he's bored here, not a moment of boredom. And that's the time when he was conceiving of Chinmaya International Foundation, which one day he wanted to make it as, a very unique university, which has now happened. And see how incidentally on his 108th Jayanti, even the university started the day of the handover, one day before the handover by Guruji. But see, the new campus is being inaugurated on his 108th Jayanti. That's why I'm immediately after the puja, flying off. See? This is called as Kavi Manishi. He conceived of. And see, it's not accidental, even though university started. And university started on which day? Tapovan Jayanti. The Tapovan Aradhana day. Tapovan Aradhana day, the permission for the university came. So just see how the coincidences may be. 8th May is exactly 108 days since Ram Lala's presence in Ayodhya. Means in the Pratima. 9th November 1991, Gurudev wrote to a devotee that this temple will be built. Exactly on 9th November 2019, the Supreme Court order came. And exactly 108 days before, the Pratishtha was done. You call this as coincidence? One coincidence, two coincidence, three coincidence. Yeah. Kavi, Manishi. So I was traveling with him. I'm coming back to the story. So in the story, I'm telling you many stories. Don't say I said one story only. I was waiting. Swamiji, why are you still not telling us about Gurudev? Yeah. I'm waiting for this verse, Baba. Then you understand the glory of a realized master. Yeah. A Sthita Pragya. An enlightened person. Yeah. One who is Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. So all these are all indicators of Brahman, but also of that realized master. They are also all indicators of Ishwara, but that realized master who is Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara. So what I was telling is, the way he took his body to what end? But in spite of all his illness, how did he function? Therefore, Paribhu, he transcended his body. Swayambhu, he was like himself. You can't compare him to anybody. Somebody asked me about his birthday. He said, I am unborn. That's why the first word is Om Ajaya Namaha. One who is Also, Om Jnana Triptaya Namaha. One who is fulfilled or is fulfilled with his knowledge, or one who is filled with this knowledge. Such a person. So when I was in Hong Kong, I do remember the story, I have not drifted away. I had many earlier opportunities also to massage his feet, which is more for our pleasure than his pleasure. But that day I saw, so I went close to him and I said, Gurudev, may I press? And he said, nobody was around. He says, now it's inside. So those who know diabetes and that, what you get, neuropathy or whatever, he never talked about it. Nobody knew. Even now, when you say that, when I remember that how people would organize places where there were no lift and you had to climb steps and everything. And I used to be running and nobody, sometimes people don't know who was in the midst of them. They're busy talking to people and he's walking alone on the steps. I would run behind him, and tell these people, how do you do that? So I knew that his legs had become very weak. I went to press his leg and he said, now it's inside. It will not help. So I said, Gurudev, but may I? He said, okay, do. And maybe to please me after some time, he said, it's working. So I got a chance to travel with him on flight, knowing that, his legs are now so weak. His heart, anyway, from the last 4 years was 15% functioning. So when I was with him in the flight, even there he was writing letters. Then he slept for some time, and since we are going to the east, the sun appears very quickly. It was about 3 o'clock at night when I saw him, moving, and I couldn't sleep also. First of all, I'm lying down in front of, I'm sitting beside him, so barely could I have, probably I had some few winks, but I was watching and I could see he was uncomfortable. But he did not disturb me in any way. Till finally I just couldn't stop, so I said, I could hear the gallery open, which we are going to land soon in 2 hours. So I just asked, I said, Gurudev, may I get you something? Or he said, yeah, I want to go to the washroom and you can order me a hot drink. When he came, by the time the sun had already risen. Now I knew if I asked him that, Gurudev, is your leg paining? I know he would not tell me anything. He just wouldn't tell me anything. And he would laugh it out, or he'd say, no. So I put it the other way. I had also gone through a lot of pain, and every moment he used to look at me. He never worried about his pain. He would look at me and he would tell me, you better get yourself treated. From where he used to write out what treatment is available around the world in Japan and all that, and say, go, take that treatment. So I just said, Gurudev, in this body, which is inert, there can be no pain. In the Atma, there is no pain. Then how does pain take place? I put it as a philosophical question. Not that, how are you feeling pain? No. I have experienced it, I know. And he smiled and he said, how Shankaracharya said in Atma Bodh, and quoting Atma Bodh, he said, in deep sleep, where is pain? And when your mind is, say, watching TV or something, no, he didn't tell me TV because I don't watch, so not expected of brahmacharis, So he said, when a child's mind is distracted, where is pain? When he's playing. So it's only when the mind connects with this body, endowed with consciousness, there is experience of pain. And therefore, how the realized master, who is beyond this body, can continue in spite of excruciating pain, at the body level, because identified with the self. And thus his body moves around. Now I can go endlessly, but I think now it is clear that how these verses reveal to us. And he set the law of nature. And it is said very clearly in our scriptures that as time passes, the knowledge of Dharma declines. What is Dharma? What is Adharma? And it is these masters who not only re-establish the knowledge of the Shastras and the real essence of the meaning of Dharma, but it is said that whatever they do is the standard of Dharma, because they cannot do anything else. No? And therefore, it is these masters, how they live their life, and Shankaracharya has written in his commentaries, especially in Sthita Pragya, the Bhagavad Gita, that yadyadat charati sreshta tattat devetaro janaha, that people will follow such a sreshta. But he points out that whatever is natural for a realized master, a Sthita Pragya, that should be our ideal and that should be our sadhana. That is how we should try to live our life. And therefore sets the highest standards of dharma, of sadhana, of practices, of love, of compassion, of kindness, of egoless, selfless, dedicated seva or service. And whatever they demonstrate is what we should imbibe and we should live. So that is the meaning of that he alone allotted the various eternal creators their respective functions, not only in this body and in the universe, but all the essence of Dharma is according to their actions and their behavior in this world and their transaction with this world. Now I know when we go into Katha, time stops. And we want to hear more, right? So it's not that I'm not aware, but it says that he allotted all the eternal time. So when we dedicate our time to him, why should there be shortage or limitation of time? Tell me. No? Yeah? Okay. In bhakti, devotion, any crime is possible. But that also, just like Parikshit Maharaj, when Shukdev ji said, should I stop now? No. Continue. Because who knows what will happen tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.